Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in this video, I'll be unboxing this bag of metal coins that I've been sitting on for a year. And while I'm at it, I might as well unbox this game that they belong to, which just arrived, along with a few other add-ons. Let's get rolling. Alright, so in this video I will be unboxing Vantage along with the metal coins, the upgraded skill tokens, and the player mats, which are all add-ons. And so this is a pretty spoiler heavy game, but I'm going to do my very best to not have any spoilers on screen for Vantage. So this is a very much a card-driven game, and the cards are all secret. You're only supposed to look at one card at a time, and each player who's playing can only look at their own card, and you're describing things. It seems like a really, really cool game. I'm excited for the concept, but as far as this unboxing goes, I'm not going to show you all those cards. I'm going to do my very best not to get it on camera, and if I happen to get it on camera, I'll either blur it out or edit past it. So if you're looking for no spoilers, this is the unboxing for you. So let's get this thing open. And so as I get the plastic wrap off here, just a reminder, I do have chapter markers. If you would just like to see the add-on components, you can skip to those chapters. Those will be at the end. I don't remember exactly what the deal was with the metal coins, but they were available to purchase directly from the publisher, Stonemaier Games, shortly after Vantage was announced a year ago. And around that time, I was wanting to get some metal coins for Scythe, which I had acquired not too long ago. So when I ordered the metal coins for Scythe, I ordered the metal coins for Vantage, and I've been patiently, very patiently, sitting on those, I guess maybe somewhat impatiently, because the shapes of those coins look very unusual, and I wanted to play with them for the last year, and I have kept them in their bag. So this box is numbered. That's sort of interesting. I have box 7,780 out of 50,000. It is a weighty box. There's a lot of heft in here. So here we go. We start, and it's beautiful artwork, by the way. Is there anything on the inside? No, I did not expect so, but just checking. Yeah. All right, there's the Vantage box. Just lovely art, which is good for such a visual game. So this is the main player board, or not player board, the just main board, where I guess the central board you would call it. And it's kind of interesting. I saw Jamie Stegmaier, who is the designer of this game and one of the, I think, co-founders of Stonemaier, was talking about this on one of his own videos. And so you can see there's the mission, destiny, and challenge at the top. And then on the other side, mission, destiny, challenge, penalty at the bottom. And so this mat is double-sided, and they just, they had two sides to work with, but really didn't have any new information or anything different to put on the back. So they just swapped the top and bottom layout. So you can kind of pick whichever layout is, best for the table you're sitting at and where everybody is sitting around the table. So I thought that was smart and a nice thing to do. So this is just, like a sort of cardstock. Not terribly thick, but I think that'll get the job done. I'll set that off to the side for now. Here we have our punch board, and I don't think I'll need any of this stuff because I've got the upgrades. So these are the coins, and you can see the interesting shapes. So these are 1s, 5s, 2s, and 10s. So those are the coins. I've got metal ones, and these are the challenge tokens, and I've upgraded those to the wood version, but those are the punch outs. Then we have booklets here, and these are all bound together with paper. I'm really glad that that's not plastic. Stonemaier is usually pretty good about that, so we'll take this off, and you can see these cards here are covered with a this top thing is to hide spoilers, and then on the sides of all of these cards there are little labels that just tell you these cards are all numbered, and it tells you what number cards are in each stack. So those are spoiler free as well. So that was pretty good. Now I know at some point when I complete this unboxing, I'll have to remove the paper off of these, and that means I'm gonna have to lift this stack. There's another stack beneath it I can feel, and I'll probably see the top card of the stacks down there. I'm not too worried about it personally, but I want to be really careful for the viewers here, for you guys, because I know some people are really anti-spoiler on this game in particular. So I have not separated these yet. Here is the main booklet, and this stop sign is really important, probably why it says important. So it's telling you don't look at any of the cards and don't look through any of these books. The only thing you should look at is this book. This is the main rule book. So go through here. This will tell you about the components, the setup, how to play. All these things are more or less story-driven or narrative. So there's a storybook for each of the actions you can take in this game. So there's 6 actions on just about all these cards. I think when you go to a location, I think you generally have the option to take one of 6 actions. And so when you then make that choice, then you go to the corresponding book, and you may have some sort of test that you need to solve, and you may have additional choices. It might be branching, I don't know. And then there's some story in here. So these 6 action types, it looks like they're labeled here, are move, look, help, engage, take, and overpower. So for each of the actions, there's a corresponding color and symbol and then a storybook. So don't go looking through here. I really have to put these in Roy G. Biv order, or I'm gonna go nuts. So here's these booklets here. Then we have this Book of Secrets. Which says, do not look inside unless instructed. And there's also this Book of Vantages. Again, do not look inside unless instructed. So I'm going to follow those instructions. I'll just set those aside. I've got the rule book here. I'll set this to the side as well. And let's take a look at these components. Now, there's also, underneath these components, these we can look at, there is this spoiler pack also. And then there's more cards beneath that as well. Feels like one stack of cards. Do not open the spoiler pack until you are instructed to do so. So that's probably some type of unlockable. I don't know. So we'll start with these tokens here. Some of these I'll be using. I guess all these I'll be using. So we've got, for each player, a morale token, which is a star, a health token, which is a heart, and a time token, which is an hourglass. You can see those come in 6 player colors. They happen to match the 6 colors of these actions, but there's an extra book in here. Depart. Red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, dark blue, purple. There is no dark blue color, so that book must be a little extra special. Oh man, maybe I'll, where do I put it now in the order? I don't know. The dark blue book, I guess, is extra special. That's not one of the normal actions as far as I can tell. But these are the player colors, and any player can take any of the actions. It's not like if you're the red player, you can only take the red actions. But there you go. It looks like, so these are all wooden tokens, pretty standard stuff. If you have Scythe, it looks to me like these, I don't know if you'd call them sculpts or molds or what, because they're wood, but like the stars and the hearts seem to be the same as the stars and the hearts in Scythe, same pieces. But yeah, pretty standard wooden pieces. They look great, they do their job. Nothing too wild there. I don't know, I'll probably put these all in one bag maybe. And then we've got these cubes. I believe these are these cooldown tokens, or am I getting confused? I am confused. Boost tokens. But these are just gray wooden cubes. I guess gray's not fair. They have like a little bit of a silvery sheen to them. I don't know if you'd be able to see it. It's pretty mild, but it's cool. Just a little bit of like a metallic in the paint. So we can set these pieces aside. And then, so in addition to our cards, we've got up here in this bag our little plastic card holders. So as you play the game, you're you're going to get a location card and you're going to place it in here. And so this will hold it so that you and only you can see it, because the other players cannot see the location you're at. You're looking at it, you can describe it to them, and you're thematically, speaking over radio or something. But everyone can only see their own card. So here's your nice card holder, 1 per player. There's 6 of those. I don't know that they need to stay in this giant plastic bag, but I'll put them there for now. I'll rebox all this stuff at the end in a spoiler-free manner. Now let's take a look at this. I thought this was pretty cool. There are these little hideaway boxes to store some pieces. So again, I said this recently about Harmonies. This game's a little bit bigger, but for just like a cardboard organizer that comes with the game, like this one's pretty good. Like it does its job. It's well organized. And it's not super expensive. I don't think they're breaking the bank with this organizer, but it's very functional. So in this box, we've got these black dice. These are what you're going to be rolling for most challenges, I believe. So we got a bunch of these. These are nice. A little bit rounded on the sides. Looks like they got 1 icon for each of the wooden tokens that I showed earlier. So the star, the heart, and the hourglass for morale, health, and time. We've got 2 lines on opposite sides. Those are blanks. And then this arrow here is setback. So there's a bunch of these. Easy to read, simple iconography. I like them. In another one of these boxes, we've got these skill dice, and these are D6s as well. And on each of the sides, they've got one of the action icons, and those icons are colored to match, just like the books that we looked at earlier. So we've got a bunch of these skill dice. These look good too. They feel good. I mean, they're dice, but they're nice. And one of these boxes is empty, so we can organize it however we want. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this stuff back for the moment, and I'm going to unbox the other add-on stuff that I've got, and then I will figure out how to put all these things back in the main box with as little lid lift as possible. I think I'm going to have a tiny bit of lid lift, and that's not the end of the world. That's fine, but I will do my best to minimize it. So let's get some of this stuff out of the way, like so, and we will come back to it later. So we've got player boards, metal coins, and wooden skill tokens. Let's grab the skill tokens next. So we've got these here, and I will be keeping these in the main box. It looks like each of the token types is in its own little plastic baggie, which I don't think is the way it's going to stay at the end of the day once I pack these up. I'm just feeling, I don't know if these are screen printed. I don't really know the processes that well, but they're wooden tokens, and I've noticed a lot of times when there's wooden tokens like this, that when you first receive them, some of them can stick together and you kind of have to pop them apart. So, and in that respect, when all the colors are mixed, sometimes the colors rub off on each other. So in that way, it's kind of nice that each one is individually bagged, but this is a lot of bags. It's a little bit wasteful. The nice thing on these tokens, besides, they're wooden tokens, they feel good, very easy to read. Also, they're all double-sided, so I'm a fan of that. So here's the red ones, which I think was Overpower. Any of these sticking together? Nope. These are all good. I don't know what this one was, but it looks kind of like a power on-off symbol. I know that's not what it is, but that's what that icon reminds me of. Yellow. Nope, none of these are sticking together either. This one's probably the hardest one to see, but it's it's yellow on white, so it's a little tough to see the icon, but if you can see the color yellow and differentiate it from other colors, then you're not going to have an issue. And if you do have trouble with that, well, you'll still know it as the one that's a little bit more difficult to see. I thought maybe some of the blue ones were sticking together, but no. These are light blue. Very nice. I feel like a lot of time and effort was put into creating the different icons here because they seem to be trying to communicate things that are, I don't know, just trying to communicate ideas simply. Oh, okay, here we go. So here's some of these orange ones are stuck. These 3, so I guess we get what, 10 in a bag. I haven't been counting, but there's 4 here, and then 3 stacks of 2 that are stuck together. So let's pop these apart. Just have to apply a little pressure the other direction. None of those left any marks. These didn't leave any marks. Yeah, these all came together or came apart just fine. So that's just, I think it's when you silk screen on wood. I think that's what is done here. Again, I might be wrong. I don't know my processes very well, but I've seen that before, so I just thought I'd check. And if that happens to you, like I said, it comes apart pretty easy, no big deal. So that was just on my orange ones, but there were 3 of them. So luckily they were all the same color, and it didn't, leave green on my orange or something like that, because that would bug me a little bit. So there you go, some wooden tokens. These are really nice. We'll set those aside. I will get those in the main box at the end. Let's now open up these dual layered player mats. We're going to save the coins for the end. I've been waiting a year, so what's a few more minutes? Now this is what's going to cause the lid lift on the Vantage box from the official materials. That's the way I understand it. So if that's really going to bother you, they say you can keep your mats in this box, but realistically, I don't know. Not very many people are going to do that, I don't think, because you'd rather just grab one box to play, not multiple boxes. And this is not really like a display tile box. It's very, very functional. At least it's recyclable. So here's our player mats. Blue, purple, orange, green, yellow, red. And on the back, it's just the color. And, some artwork back here, but nothing functional. So you play on the front, and these are dual layered, so you can see that it'll hold 9 cards. In the middle would be your character card, and it looks like these are pre-printed on here. So you can place the card there, or you can just use the pre-printed. It looks like it's 100% functional, so you just don't really need the character card. Try and lay them all out so you can at least see the characters. So these look pretty good. This just keeps your little tableau nice and organized. So I think this was a good add-on. I haven't obviously played the game yet, but this feels good. They've got little going this direction only. There are cutouts, so you can get your cards out a little bit more easily. Just little finger slots here. Nothing in this direction, but that's okay. So these look good too. I will put these in the box shortly. And now, at long last, let's open up these coins. So here we go. Here are my Vantage metal coins. There are 18 singles, 12 twos, 9 fives, and 6 threes. I do love a good metal coin, and these are weighty. So here are the 10s. These are the 5s. The 2s. Sort of silvery. The 1s look kind of bronzish. So with 1s, 2s, and 10s, we went with the bronze, silver, gold motif. We added blues for the 5, and I've just been dying to do this forever. How do these go together? I'm sure people online have already put them together. Like that. I don't know what that means, but that's cool. And there's a little bit of artwork on here. I'm sure I'll decipher that at some point as I learn more about this world. But yeah, these feel good. I like the sound. That was worth it for me. So, all right, now I am going to go through all this stuff real quick, and I'll get the paper off of my cards, and I'll probably practice putting all this stuff in the box a couple times, taking it back out to try and optimize it as best I can, and then I will show you what I've learned after that so that you can, if you've got all this stuff, get in the box with the least amount of lid lift possible. So I'm going to do that now, and stick with me. Here we go. right, so I want to briefly pause for a second just to show you something here. These stacks of cards that are banded together are banded more tightly than I've ever seen paper banded cards before. So I just wanted to show you quickly how I've been getting these bands off without damaging the cards beneath them. And I think they've done a really good job. All the cards have been in good shape so far. So this is probably a good way. This double banding is probably a good method for any publishers watching this. But this top band is going this way, and to get that off, I've got a pair of scissors here. I'm going to carefully and gently slide the scissors under them across the other band, so that way I don't accidentally, gouge and nick the card beneath it. So I'm just going this way here, and then that comes off pretty easily. And then at this point, some of these have still been pretty tight. This one feels like I could just probably slide it off, but no, it's pretty tight too. The right side of these cards are kind of all identical. You can see the rainbow colors down the side because that's where the actions are. So I kind of push a little bit to the right so I don't spoil anything until I can slip this paper off. This one's extra stuck. So you can see it's all kind of rainbow colored, and that way I'm not really exposing anything to myself that I might want to discover later. And so I gently work that off. Got the paper band off, and now I will continue. Oh, hey, I will continue to figure all this stuff out, and then I'll show you how I rebox it at the end. So let's get back to it. All right, so I have gone through all the contents of this game. I've reboxed it. I do have a little lid lift, but I think I've minimized it. So let me show you what I did and give you a couple notes on how to go through this thing. So here's all these booklets. Get these back out. Whoopsie. We unbox, we rebox, we unbox again. Let's go through how I organize this. So first of all, the cards I did, because I'm a psychopath, I went through and made sure that I had all of the cards. So I was able to do that in a pretty spoiler-free manner. All these cards here on the left are numbered in the top right corner, and so you can just flip through them real quick and easily and just make sure all the numbers are there. That was no big deal. And then again, I won't show you anything beneath, but each stack starts with this helpful card that just tells you, in this column are cards 1484 through 1708. And this just kind of hides, that's the back of the card. This just kind of hides the face of all the cards so you don't spoil anything. Now, one thing that I maybe would have missed if I had not done that, at the very back of this column, there was another little bundle of cards at the end that you are supposed to look at. For a second, I was like, oh no, have I just spoiled something? These are cards 1709 through 1714, and there's a picture of each character on it. Looks like they're double-sided here. And the point of these is at different points in the game, you may be taking some of these cards out, but eventually you'll have to put them back. And so you can take your, if you're the blue character, take your card and put it right there and you can let it stick up a little bit so that when it's time to return your cards back to the game, you can easily find your spot and put it back. I don't know if they're necessarily for these stacks of cards or if they're for the location cards, but either way, it helps you to just find your spot. So these just go at the very end of that last column, 6 cards there. These cards, if you, a couple things that are of interest. One, they start here. So this is the first stack. I'll move this spoiler pack. I guess I should put this at the bottom because I won't get to it for a while. This is the first stack, the second stack, and the third stack. The cards are sequential. There's a note on this top one, which is important to read. Locations 000 and 001 are on the back of the Book of Vantages and the Book of Secrets, respectively. So if you need location 0 and location 1, which I assume you need during like setup, that's probably where you start each game session, you won't find those cards here. These cards start at 002. You'll find those on the backs of these books. So I'll let you discover those on your own. And then if you're a little nuts like me and you want to make sure you have all these cards, these are all numbered on the top left. And again, I was able to flip through them super fast without spoiling anything. In the first stack, I don't know if these are starting locations or what, but there are a couple of groups that are separated, groups of cards that are individual cards. So you're flipping through it and it's same as these, like card 3, card 4, card 5, card 6. I don't remember the card numbers, but they're sequential. But beyond that point, all the rest of these, so the vast majority of these location cards are double-sided. So you'll notice, it's card 102, 104, 106, 108, and on the back sides, it's the odd numbers. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm getting at. But that's not the case, again, for all the cards in the first stack. So if you're doing what I'm doing and you're flipping through it, you may notice the numbering kind of bounces back and forth between being sequential and being every other numbers and being double-sided cards. So be aware of that. But I am kind of surprised, these are these 3 covers here so that you don't spoil anything. But I kind of wish that these covers had, similar to these covers, like numbers to tell you what stack to look in. So there's a bunch of locations and I couldn't tell you if I needed a certain one. Like certainly if I needed location 3, like it's going to be in the first stack, right? But at some point, if I need location 246, like I don't know which of these stacks it's in. So it'd be kind of nice if these had the numbers on them, but they don't. But that's okay. All right, let me take this last stack again without spoiling anything, lift it up, put the spoiler pack on the bottom, because I expect it'll be a while before I'm told to open that, and I'll probably need these cards first. So let me show you how I organize this. I toyed with a lot of things, and I don't know if I'm 100% satisfied with it, but I think it's pretty good. So in this first box, I put the 6 card holders. Now, it was pretty clear to me that these card holders are meant to go in this spot, but they seemed light and they fit in there, and I've got these metal coins, and I didn't want the metal to bash around this cardboard box. This seemed like maybe this is a thicker cardboard, maybe a more secure location. So I put the metal coins in this section, and I put just these 6 dividers in this first box here, and they're just fine there. One other note on the metal coins, they came in a bunch of individual little bags like this, and they could not fit all in one bag. So I took this bag from these gray cubes. I'm pretty confident these silver cubes. There's more than enough space in this bag for the cubes. So I dumped the cubes out, put the cubes in a different bag I borrowed, but I'll get to that. The metal coins I put in the bag that the cubes came in. Those go here. These skill dice, there's 12 of them, and I just arranged them 3 by 4 like this in a little bag. The bag is folded over, and that fits very comfortably right here in one of these 3 card wells. Additionally, these silver cubes, you haven't noticed yet, I put these in a different bag. This is one of the bags that, if you recall, the skill tokens, the wooden tokens that I got, they came in 6 different bags. This was one of those bags. So I just put the silver cubes in there, and again, that fits next to one of these card stacks. Real nice. So no big deal there. This last box over here, I'll come back to the middle one. This last box just has the challenge dice here, these black dice. I left them in the bag that they came in. They were just fine. Keep them isolated in their own box. This middle box is the one I'm not totally happy with, but I think it's the best solution that I can find right now. Assuming that I use, only materials that came with the game. I'm sure, I've got 1,000 plastic bags elsewhere, and maybe some different bags would fit. So I'm keeping my finger here kind of carefully. In here, loose, are all these wooden tokens. I couldn't fit them all in one bag, with the exception of this giant bag that the stands originally came in. So they'll all fit comfortably in here, but then I didn't really have a good place to put them. Like, I tried to store them here. It was just too unwieldy. The bag gets so bulky that you can't even jam it into this box. It was just too much. So I put them loose in here, and then I have this one little bag here with all of the player colored icons, so the time, morale, and health markers. And I just put that on top, and that kind of allows me to put this box sideways without dumping everything when I put it away. Whoops, well, I guess I dumped one. The key is remembering that when I take the game out the next time, I either have to tilt the box to slide this out or carefully put my finger here to try and stop all these tokens from rolling out. Honestly, I had better luck with it earlier. Now it's not going so great. So that's what I've got for now. I don't know if I should try and find another little baggie or something, but that's what I've got in the meantime. Man, this is falling apart on me, huh? The other thing I tried was each of those tokens, remember each color came in its own individual bag, and I tried to double them up, so go from 6 bags down to 3, so red and orange in one, yellow and green in another, purple and blue in the last one. But still, you need all those tokens every time you play. I'd rather just dump them and have them available than have to sort through a bunch of all these little baggies. I find that kind of annoying, so one bag would be better. So I might dig through my my box of baggies removed from other games and find one that's just the right size for this little area to hold those tokens. But anyway, that's where I've got all that stuff stored. So then to put the rest of this away, I've got my player mats here, and they fit, clearly intended for this space. Then I got the Book of Vantages. I put that next on the bottom, and I put the spiral here on this side, and then put the Book of Secrets opposite of it. The rule book I had on top. I think I'll leave it on top. I think that's fine. But then the rest of these books, I saw somebody else do this on Board Game Geek, and I think it was a pretty good idea. Maybe I'll put this here next. It fits. I don't want to bend it on the spine. I guess I'll wait. Okay. Anyway, I saw somebody else do this. Take the spines of these, because the spines are a little thicker, a little less flexible. They've got the staples, and put the spine on the outside, and then just start spiraling them around like this. Go to the corners. The order doesn't really matter. So when you get all those, you can place this on top, perhaps. Yeah, and I just put the rule book in the middle. I think that's fine. And when you put the lid back over it, I'll show you what the lid lift is like. So press this back down. I can press it all the way down so that there's no lid lift, but naturally it rises a little bit back up. So depending on how you store it on your shelf, if you had another game on top of this, if it had any weight to it, it would press down on this, and it would look as if there was no lid lift. But oh man, this thing's heavy. Let me flip it up. So I'm holding it together now, and then it naturally does that. So a small amount of lift. I'm not worried about it. This will fit just fine for me. And I'd rather do that than have a separate box. So that is my unboxing and reboxing of Vantage with all the extra bits and bobs. And Stonemaier Games has been pretty clear that there's not going to be any expansions for this game. It is a complete package and it is done. So I have a lot of respect for that. I like that. I like to know that it's done. So I am really excited to dive into this world and start exploring. I will surely put a playthrough on this channel, perhaps the same day I release this video. But if you want to make sure you don't miss it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you like what you saw here today, please consider leaving a like or sharing this video with somebody else. I would really appreciate that. And if you've got any questions or comments or tips, maybe on how to store this differently or better, let me know in the comments. I'm sure others would appreciate it as well. And as always, don't forget I have a Ko-fi page, Ko-fi. There's a link in the description. You can head over there and you can drop me a couple bucks for the channel. It just helps to keep things running, and it is really, really appreciated. I'll be sure to give you a shout out in my next channel update video. But that is it for my unboxing of Vantage. Super excited for it. I've been hyped about this for at least a year when I bought the coins. I'm just real excited to start playing. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks for watching Table for One, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.